Welcome to the GI Cure Podcast, the weekly podcast where Dr. Albert Snow discusses how to heal your inflammatory bowel condition. He will show you how to achieve complete and permanent healing of your gastrointestinal tract and set you free to get your life back. Dr. Snow does not want you to live with IBS, colitis, Crohn's, and constipation. That's why over the past 40 years, he's developed the GI Cure, which is a customized holistic protocol that helps you heal your body with a 98% success rate. Most of his patients have found relief within 90 to 120 days. We invite you to stay tuned to the end to learn how to get started right away. Dr. Snow, please take it away.
Hi, this is Dr. Albert Snow. I'm a holistic gastroenterologist, and I'm creating a series of clips based on my experience with healing inflammatory bowel conditions. I've been doing it for 40 years. I did say healing, and I did say conditions, not diseases, because I'm teaching the world that these are not diseases. This is why you haven't been healed, because you're being treated by a doctor. A doctor is a medical, conventional group of people who are smart, but they're missing a big deal, missing the biggest deal. And it's even affected your naturopath. You're going to hear things from me you've never heard before, because I say things that no one else said before, and they happen to be true and accurate. And by the time you're done listening to me, either through this clip or any of the clips I make, you're going to know I'm onto something. It's not new. I've been onto it for 40 years. Inflammatory bowel conditions can be healed. They're not immune diseases at all. The medical community has the wrong model. They went down that road 50, 60 years ago, and they haven't turned around. A lot of reasons to do with politics, money, and all that. And they're not going to shift gears anytime soon because there's a lot of money to be made off of you. By the time you come to me, you've been through the mill. You've done it all. Humira, Remicade, everything. You know the drill. By the time you come to me, you're exhausted. And to tell you the truth, by the time people come to me, they're ready to go, and I don't have to make any convincing that, you need my services. My goal, I'm 69 years old now. I've been there, done that. Made my money, raised kids, all that stuff. My goal now is one single-minded purpose: to wipe out inflammatory bowel conditions, diseases from this planet. I can do it because I've been doing it one by one for 40 years. Someone asked me this morning, how many people have you healed? And I said, well, conservatively, 80,000. 98% success rate. Why is that? Well, number one, I don't take on anybody I know I can't heal. That improves my batting average right there. Who would that be? Someone who's really far gone. They have projectile expulsions from all their orifices. They're on numerous drugs, and no drug has ever put a dent in it. Never mind anything naturopathic, because if it's not me, there is nothing naturopathic that works. Pretty big statement. It is true. You're going to find out why as you hear to me. As you listen to me, you're going to hear things you've never heard before. And the unique part of it is they're all going to make sense and be logical. That's a lot in one little simple protocol I created called the GI Cure. I'm not here to sell anything, except for maybe an idea. Is that I have the answer to healing inflammatory bowel. There's tons of testimonials everywhere. Groups talk about my work and how I've healed them, and on Facebook and a lot of stuff. Okay, that's all cool. But I've been healing people for all these years. There's no one else that does it, and here's why. There's several missing links. The purpose of this clip here is to tell you that food does not make a difference. Let me go one step back. The reason that no one is getting healed with inflammatory bowel is because they are using the wrong model. They believe you have a disease. You don't. You have a man-made condition. Naturopaths, why can't any of them heal this? Because unfortunately, they accepted the medical model, and they consider themselves natural by using herbs to try to tame the immune system, which is completely wrong, versus drugs. No. I picture these herbal guys out there with fly swatters. It's not even close because it's not an immune disease. IBS, colitis, and Crohn's are all the same condition. It's just a matter of degree of damage to the bowel, like a first, second, third degree burn. I refer to potholes. Potholes are out in the road. The symptoms of driving through a pothole are shallow ones. Rattles the car a little bit. Deep one, boom. I had one ruin a tire in my car just 2 weeks ago. And it's just a matter of depth. It's still a pothole. How do I know how bad off you are by the symptoms? It seems kind of obvious, but I can tell how deep the holes are in your colon by the things you tell me, the things the body tells me, and I know what to do. See, there's one protocol that'll heal it. It's just a matter of how much raw material do we need. I have one protocol. I've healed 80,000 people. That means there are 80,000 versions of my protocol because it's stretched towards whatever your needs are. I've given everybody the same protocol, but differently. And then once I do, I micromanage it. I'm all over you to the point you might tell me, like, give me a break. I have to make sure you heal. How can someone heal you by seeing you twice a year and mumbling something over 10 minutes and then hand you a piece of paper? And you walk out confused. It's prescription for what? And now it's switching me to another drug? Holy mackerel. Then someone tells you, hey, this Snow guy over here, a lot of people talking about this guy, and my sister's friend's cousin, was healed, and someone else in my bowling league. Yeah, I am quietly ubiquitous. I just wanted you to know the basics. You don't have an immune disease. You have a man-made condition caused by the most common drug in our culture, antibiotics. I'll be telling you a little bit later, again, as I repeat pretty much every episode, what the antibiotic does, but it's the only source of the problem. There's not 2 or 3 causes. There's not maybe this, not maybe that. It is the problem. So the answer is easy. You do the opposite of what the antibiotic does. 40 years ago, there was no names for things like probiotics, none of that. Certainly no advertising on TV, 40 years ago, there might have been a few health food stores around. You were a real oddball if you wanted to go become a naturopath. So what I did was I sat down and said, I had to start making up things. I said, I believe this, believe that, believe that. And if that were true, what would we have to do? Well, truth is the antibiotic takes away the mucosal lining that covers you and protects your bowel wall. There's more to it. I'll go into more depth on another clip. Another clips I have goes into tremendous depth. And then you're left with a tissue that's exposed and not covered by the mucosal lining. Therefore, your stomach acids can eat away, erode, and then dig a hole deep enough to hit a nerve or blood vessel. That's the story. If you're going to have an appointment with me, that's the version you're going to get, almost as short as that. I'll ask you a few questions, mainly to be courteous, because once you lay down your symptoms, I already know the story. I already know how to heal you. Okay, to micromanage it, sure, I like you. We have to talk, communicate, but I don't need much of that because I know how to heal you. I've done it thousands of times. Food. Let's not forget the food. Food has nothing to do with it. When people say, what diet should I eat? Food has nothing to do with it. Then I amended a little bit and said, food has very little to do with it, like maybe 2%. And it's not what you think. You would never guess what that 2% is. Food does not cause and food cannot cure inflammatory bowel conditions. You cannot eat your way into having IBS, classic Crohn's. You can't eat your way out of it. Food has its place, Food. We need healthy food. But we're talking, you came to me because you feel like killing yourself. I hear that one once a week. Don't want to live anymore. You feel like you just want to crawl in a hole. You don't know what's what. You came to me because you want me to fix your inflammatory bowel. Along the way, I'm going to tell you things that sound like they're not good nutritional habits. Well, short term, yeah, maybe you'll eat a little something that'll say, eat that. And here's what you're going to be told. It'll give you a better idea. Dr. Snow, I have terrible diarrhea, and I can't tell what it is. I eat everything. It just goes right through me, especially these things here. It seems like everything doesn't agree with me. What do I do? Well, we can't stop eating. The first thing we do, put you on a diet, right? Diet. It's not a diet. It's some temporary instructions for food. It's very short term. What is it? Low fiber diet. I almost want to change the name because it's not about calling it fiber. It should be low texture diet. What are we trying to accomplish with food? Just to get out of the way. Because we have to consume food, under these circumstances, we have to consume them carefully. Otherwise, I have no advice for dietary changes. I have no interest in it. None of my patients ever get any dietary instructions other than this one basic sentence. Low fiber diet. Why? Right now, you're sitting there with lack of mucosal lining that protects the tender lining of the bowel. And you eat some fiber. Say you eat a candy bar that has nuts in it. Those nuts are going to go down and drag over that area that's not covered. Oh, let's say you get a nice salad. Oh, yeah, nice salad. Mom says, okay, you get Crohn's. We're going down and eating all produce. We're going to become vegans and all that. And, we're going to eat all the fresh stuff. Wrong. Then you or the kids or the husband, whoever, get worse. Believe it or not, we get worse eating the bad stuff and good stuff, and we get better eating the bad stuff? Yes, for one reason, low fiber. Apples, when I say no raw apples, no raw fruits, no raw vegetables, nuts, seeds of corn, all of those have high fiber. So you can't have them until we rebuild the mucosal lining and touch up the tissue. We're talking about rebuilding the software, which is / the computer and a firewall. And, I've gone into this deeper in other episodes. You might want to catch up with them, and I will do it again. So for right now, you need to eat anything cooked. Anything cooked. Okay, anything put into a blender. Why? Because cooking it breaks down the fiber, and blending it breaks down the fiber. If it's cooked, you name it. I don't think there's ever going to be any exception. If it's cooked, you can have it. And how do you define cooked? Well, exposed to heat. Enough heat where you can say the thing is cooked. It's limp or it's soft. Someone said to me after I said that, can I eat meat? And my answer is, because I'm always trying to pound away, Well, are you going to cook the meat? You like raw meat or cooking it? Can I have rice? So I assume you're not going to be chewing on rice kernels, grains. Oh, you're cooking it. Okay. Yeah, you can have that. Diet has almost nothing to do with it. We just don't want to drag any rough stuff. It's like dragging in an organic Brillo patch. If you have a patch that has no coverage, here comes a salad. Hallelujah, how healthy is that? Mom went out as soon as she found out he had Crohn's, went out and bought all vegan stuff. Right? And then Dr. Snow says, not important. It's important to temporarily lay lower on the acid. See, if I'm sitting with you and we say, okay, let's watch this, we have a front row seat inside your gut. Here comes a salad. Oh boy, it drags over, and then all kinds of plumbing in there releases water to say, you know what, let's just get rid of you quick. Pours a lot of water into the bowel, and it floats it out, so it's not dragging on the bottom riverbed. So you've lost your mucosal lining, and this is what happens every time you eat. You're going to dig a deeper hole, and you say, hallelujah, give me some raw vegetarian stuff. No, because most of the time it's going to be crispy, crunchy, fibrous, and at no point is it actually the thing that's going to heal anything. Diet's not going to heal it. It can only, if you're careful about diet when you have inflammatory bowel, you're just not going to eat things that you know aggravate it. Nothing, there's no food's going to make it go away. What you want to do is you want to take nutritional supplements that are food that's concentrated. I developed a system that works every time. I think I mentioned the 2% that don't follow the program. We have a saying on one of the Facebook pages, just do the effing program. Stop experimenting with 19 things you saw on the internet. Food is not going to heal it. We don't care about nutritional value of peas, okay? We do care about the fiber content. If you haven't cooked it, you're playing with fire. You can tear yourself open faster than any other thing you can do. I mean, I have cowboys all the time. This happens maybe once a month who swallow tobacco juice, not on purpose. Swallow tobacco juice, and they say, since I've been doing the protocol, nothing. That's because you're putting up a barrier. It doesn't allow the acid to penetrate. Okay. Those are, there are people out there who deliver meals to people who are elderly, disabled. Well, the nutrition in your body is delivered by your bloodstream. Once it gets through the colon, but the problem is it's got to go to the stomach and the colon. Then it's delivered. But when it's inside you like that before it gets out to the bloodstream, it's about fiber, non-fiber roughness. That's what it's all about. So you don't want to eat raw fruits and raw vegetables. You want to eat anything. These are the instructions you'll get from me in an appointment. Eat anything raw. Fruits, raw vegetables, nuts, seeds of corn, and Twinkies. They're not raw, but they're pretty awesome. Why? Because we don't want to rough up our colon. How long am I doing that? Just so long as it takes you to build your mucosal lining up. Oh, how long does that take? 90 to 120 days. Oh, but usually we can eat before we're declared healed. Oh, that's wonderful. When do I start? You can start right now. I tell people all the time, I write a lot on Facebook, there's no rules other than the rules of common sense. You know, if you say, well, every time I have fiber, it's terrible, and when's the last time you had fiber? 2 weeks ago. Then, you know, you can't try it again in 3 weeks. You got to give it some more time. Food is an overrated thing. It has value, of course. People are approaching food as if it was some kind of deity. It's just stuff. We need to know how to use it and get rid of these fancy-dancy diets where you only eat this and no nightshades and macrobiotic and everything else. I know all those things. I've done them all. And I was young at one time coming up in this industry. I tried everything. So peanut butter and jelly is better than organic carrots if they're raw, but if they're cooked, eat them up. Give you an example. You can't have peanuts. No, they're hard, rough, and sharp. You can have peanut butter. It's smooth. Okay? You can't eat, an apple. If you chose, some people do cook apples, you can because the heat breaks down the fiber. You can put anything into a blender. It breaks down the fiber. Food should be simple. The body will tell us within usually an hour, maybe minutes, certainly within a day, whether that was good for you or not. Diarrhea, bloating, gas, or feeling great, most of the time it's somewhere in the middle. And my patients, we never settle for the middle. No. You'll never get away from me as long as you have even the smallest sniffle. I want you to be invulnerable. And we have to get this inflammatory bowel thing off this planet. I know my protocol does it, and I am taking care of people one by one, but we need to step it up. Okay, so food barely matters only because we don't need more roughage going through there. Quick word about lactose intolerant and celiac or gluten intolerant. Most people are not celiac. They just acquired the disability to process dairy. And the same thing goes with wheat. Now, I mentioned celiac with dairy. It's obviously not a dairy issue. It's a wheat issue. You can live your whole life not knowing for sure, and believe me, a test is not good enough. What's the real test? Your name's Amy and your name's Joe. It's the Amy and Joe test. You put it in your mouth and see what happens. So what you need to realize is that all you want to do with food is just stay out of the way. Can I have spaghetti? Of course. Can I have alcohol? Does alcohol have fiber in it? Those are the questions I get, and those are the answers. You're not used to not getting total guidance, micromanagement. You'll get that in other areas with me. But for right now, all you gotta do is get tall. Meaning that I was telling a woman with a baby that wasn't growing, that maybe it wasn't akin to this conversation, but it affected me. And I said, you provide the mucosal lining, you build the underlying tissue, the skin, fat, and muscle is damaged. We'll go into that. Already there are some clips on that. And you provide richness in the blood. You'll grow. You put on the weight. Yes, there are people who are broken up because they're too skinny. You put it in the body once you have the machine set up, and you'll grow, which means you'll reach your full potential. I call it capacity. Once you've gone like 95 miles an hour, once you've gotten to the point where a week you had no bleeding, that's your normal level. You go back to bleeding, it just means that you haven't found a way to sustain it. So when I say grow, I'm talking about getting the GI tract working properly, having no preoccupation. We're spending too much time on this issue. I'm wiping this out from the planet. Not only 1% at a time, we're stepping it up. Online, you can reach thousands of people. You already know that. So that's what we're doing, and we're teaching you one by one. Don't worry about the food. Only eat low fiber if you are suffering and you can't form stool. It helps form stool, and nutrients like L-glutamine, slippery elm. Some of those things are really good for GI tract. Please do not ignore this. Okay, I'll talk to you next time. So long.
Thanks for joining the GI Cure podcast. For more information, we invite you to visit holisticgastroenterology.com, where Dr. Snow provides a self-guided protocol that has helped people from all around the world to heal within 90 to 120 days. Before you go, please be sure to subscribe to our show on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Pandora, or wherever you love listening to your podcast. See you in the next episode.